ago, the state jury clearly saw that Yahweh Ben Yahweh and his co-defendants were innocent men. However, because of the conviction for conspiracy in the federal case, Yahweh Ben Yahweh was sentenced to spend 18 years of his life in the federal penitentiary at Lewisburg, Pennsylvania.
Lewisburg is the only federal maximum security penitentiary on the east coast of the United States. It is one of America's toughest and most secure prisons, housing only violent career criminals.
These are the guidelines used by the Federal Bureau of Prisons to designate where particular inmates will go. These guidelines reserve Lewisburg Penitentiary for inmates who have been sentenced to 25 years to life. Yahweh Ben Yahweh does not belong at Lewisburg Penitentiary, if for no other reason than the fact that he was sentenced to 18 years. After arriving at Lewisburg Penitentiary, Yahweh Ben Yahweh was stalked by another inmate. Supporters of the Nation of Yahweh have requested that Yahweh Ben Yahweh be moved to an appropriate facility. As of yet, federal prison officials have ignored that request.
This is the place where they sent Yahweh Ben Yahweh, whom they label a first-time offender, a man who has never harmed anyone, a man who has never broken the law in his life, never even had a parking ticket.
Lewisburg is the modern-day equivalent of a leper's colony. Folks are sent to Lewisburg to die or to serve impossible sentences without no hope of ever coming home. It's like a terminal institution. A lot of guys have on their release date death, which means you never go home. It is like a super, ultra, maximum security institution. So if you got any leadership ability or any organizational skill, and you can influence other folk, they put you in a place like Lewisburg where they reduce or minimize your influence, your contact, and then the leadership ability you may have is nil, or it's reduced to nothing.
Have you ever seen or know of anyone ever being killed in prison?
Yes. In fact, Lewisburg is the only prison, well, I guess the only prison I've been in that I saw death on a frequent basis. I mean, it was no problem to go to eat, sit at the table, and the guy right next to you sit at the next table who have a knife ran right through his throat while you're eating, and blood sprouting all over, and you get up and everybody break out running. You go down the hall, and you think that was something. You see another guy laying in the hall dead. They call Lewisburg the graveyard. They call it the big house, the place that nobody ever wanted to go. It's the place where it's like never land, where you never ever come home, not walking.
Yahweh Ben Yahweh remains incarcerated at Lewisburg Penitentiary, while his attorneys continue to press for his transfer. A national grassroots campaign is being organized by supporters and friends of the Nation of Yahweh to finally expose the massive injustices against Yahweh Ben Yahweh in the federal case. And no matter what has been said and what has been done, I know my brother. And I know him to be sweet, loving, kind, industrious, and always trying to encourage one to be the best that they can be.
But he worked and made his own way and enrolled in Texas University. And I tried to give him a little something. I wanted to give him a little something, but I can't remember him ever receiving anything. He wanted to make it on his own. He wanted to provide for himself. And I say he did a good job. He never was in trouble. We never had any problems with him. None whatsoever. He was memorable, intelligent, and everybody, if they didn't love him, I don't know why. Because he had a personality which was loving. And he yet has that personality.
We don't need to wait for others to do what we know that we must do. So says Yahweh Ben Yahweh. We don't need to wait on a government stipend to pave the way. So says Yahweh Ben Yahweh. We don't need to be dependent on nobody but ourselves. So says Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Pool your pennies, pool your dollars, pool your talents, pool your energy, and the world is yours. Who is this man, Yahweh Ben Yahweh?
Sparkling white buildings are one trademark of Yahweh developments. Many in the economically depressed neighborhoods where they operate say lowered crime rates are another.
It was a lot of street crimes, a lot of prostitution, drug activity, and any place they are, it gets cleaned up.
We're very pleased to present to you the Whitney M. Young Jr. Memorial Humanitarian Award in Economic Development, presented to Yahweh Ben Yahweh.
And I would like to thank all of you of our community of all races, creeds, and colors. I love you all for a better Miami. Thank you.
Yahweh Ben Yahweh has received men and women of renowned power and influence, such as Ben Chavis, civil rights activist, syndicated columnist, and president of the NAACP. Actor, singer, and songwriter Philip Michael Thomas, who starred in the major motion picture Sparkle and the hit TV series Miami Vice. Internationally renowned opera singer Leona Mitchell. Whitman Mayo of the hit TV series Sanford and Son, better known as Grady. Molly Gibbs of the hit TV series 227 and The Jeffersons. And Dorothy Heights, president of the National Council of Negro Women.
There are 104 chemical elements that we have studied. Yahweh University, please recite the chemical elements.
Yahweh Ben Yahweh took that which was considered works of art and created true masterpieces. These masterpieces are the aesthetic minds of Yahweh's University, and they believe that one can create beauty in life by circumfusing life with beauty. This extreme degree of mental resplendency, exquisiteness, and liveliness in a university has caused me to be the competent, able, proficient, efficient, and mentally puissant entity that stands before you this day.
Consider what time it is. And since it is now time for you to take over and rule, and I'm giving you positions of rulership in our kingdom, I'm giving every one of you a position of rulership. You're going to be running a $5 million store enterprise, each of you being the manager of your own business within that store. And since I understand the value of time and I don't want you to be late, then I have a very special gift for each one of you. Which is a gold watch.